In the words of Gautama Buddha, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. These words serve as a guiding light as we embark on a journey to uncover 13 profound truths about people that you must accept. In our fast-paced world filled with distractions and uncertainties, it's easy to lose sight of the present moment and become entangled in the complexities of the past and the anxieties of the future. But by embracing the wisdom of the Buddha, we can learn to anchor ourselves in the here and now, finding clarity, peace, and liberation. Join us as we delve into the essence of Buddhist philosophy, exploring concepts such as impermanence, suffering, interconnectedness, and compassion. Through understanding these fundamental truths, we can cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us, paving the way for personal growth and spiritual awakening. Number 1. Impermanence. In the vast tapestry of existence, one of the most fundamental truths that Buddhism teaches us is the concept of impermanence. Simply put, everything is subject to change. This notion challenges our instinctual desire for stability and permanence in a world that is in constant flux. Buddhism teaches us to observe the natural rhythms of life, where birth, growth, decay, and death are inherent in all things. From the blooming of a flower to the shifting of seasons, impermanence is woven into the very fabric of existence. Consider the mighty oak tree, standing tall and majestic for centuries. Yet even this symbol of strength and endurance is not immune to the passage of time. Its leaves wither and fall, branches weather and break, eventually returning to the earth from whence they came. In this cycle of birth and decay, we witness the impermanence of all things. But impermanence extends beyond the natural world. It permeates every aspect of human experience. Relationships, careers, health, and even our own identities are subject to change. The person we are today is not the same as the person we were yesterday, nor will it be the same as the person we'll become tomorrow. Consider the fleeting moments of joy and sorrow, the ebb and flow of emotions that color our lives. Each experience, no matter how intense or profound, is transient, fleeting like a passing cloud in the sky. Embracing impermanence allows us to appreciate the beauty of each moment without clinging to it, knowing that all things arise and pass away in the ceaseless dance of existence. In recognizing the impermanence of all things, we free ourselves from the shackles of attachment and learn to embrace the ever-changing nature of reality. Through this understanding, we find liberation, peace, and the wisdom to navigate the ever-changing currents of life. Number 2. Suffering. Central to Buddhist teachings is the profound understanding of suffering, known as dukkha. While commonly translated as suffering, dukkha encompasses a broader spectrum of human experience, including physical pain, mental anguish, and the pervasive sense of dissatisfaction that permeates our lives. In Buddhism, suffering is not viewed as a punishment or an unavoidable aspect of existence, but rather as an inherent part of the human condition. It arises from our fundamental misunderstanding of reality and our incessant craving for permanence in an impermanent world. Consider the times when we cling desperately to the fleeting pleasures of life, whether it be material possessions, relationships, or accolades. We convince ourselves that these external sources of happiness will provide lasting fulfillment, only to find ourselves disillusioned when they inevitably fade away or fail to meet our expectations. This clinging, fueled by our desire for security and comfort, only serves to perpetuate our suffering. Furthermore, our attachment to the idea of a fixed and unchanging self exacerbates our sense of dissatisfaction and discontentment. We construct elaborate narratives about who we are, what we want, and how our lives should unfold, only to be confronted with the harsh reality of impermanence and uncertainty. The more we resist the fluid nature of existence, the more we suffer. By clinging to impermanent things, we set ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. Like a butterfly grasping at the wind, our efforts to control and possess the fleeting moments of life are futile, leading only to greater suffering. However, Buddhism offers a path to liberation from this cycle of suffering through the practice of mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom. By recognizing the impermanent nature of all things and letting go of our attachments, we can free ourselves from the grip of suffering and find peace in the present moment. Through this profound understanding, we can transcend suffering and discover true happiness that arises from within, independent of external conditions. Number 3. Interconnectedness. At the heart of Buddhist philosophy lies the profound insight into the interconnected nature of all things. This concept of interconnectedness, known as interbeing, teaches us that every aspect of the universe is intricately linked in a vast and intricate web of relationships. Consider the intricate ecosystem of a forest, where every tree, plant, and animal plays a vital role in maintaining the delicate balance of life. The roots of a tree draw nourishment from the soil, which in turn supports the growth of other plants and sustains countless forms of life. The birds that nest in the branches spread seeds that give rise to new life, while the decomposing leaves enrich the soil, completing the cycle of life and death. In this interconnected dance of existence, every creature, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, contributes to the well-being of the whole. Beyond the natural world, the principle of interconnectedness extends to every aspect of human experience. In our social dynamics, we are bound together by a complex network of relationships where the actions of one individual ripple outward, affecting the lives of others in ways both seen and unseen. A kind word or gesture can spread love and compassion, creating a ripple effect that touches the lives of countless others. Similarly, acts of cruelty or indifference can sow seeds of discord and suffering, perpetuating the cycle of pain and division. On a personal level, our interconnectedness is evident in the bonds we share with our loved ones. The love, support, and understanding we receive from others nourish our souls and give meaning to our lives. In moments of joy and sorrow, we draw strength from the connections that sustain us, knowing that we are never truly alone in our journey through life. By embracing the profound truth of interconnectedness, we cultivate a deep sense of empathy, compassion, and reverence for all beings. We come to realize that we are not separate from the world around us, but are deeply intertwined with it, sharing in its joys and sorrows, its triumphs and challenges. Through this understanding, we can transcend the illusion of separateness and awaken to the boundless interconnectedness of all things. Number 4. Non-self. In the teachings of Buddhism, the concept of non-self, or anatta, challenges one of the most deeply ingrained beliefs in human consciousness, the existence of a permanent, unchanging self. Unlike many other philosophical and religious traditions that posit the existence of a soul or ego, Buddhism asserts that there is no enduring essence or self that persists throughout our lives. Imagine the self as a flowing river, constantly changing and evolving with each passing moment. Just as the waters of a river are never the same from one moment to the next, the self is a dynamic process of thoughts, feelings, perceptions, and experiences that arise and cease in each moment. There is no fixed identity or essence that remains constant amidst the ever-changing currents of life. This concept can be further illustrated by considering the analogy of a flame. When we observe a flame, we may perceive it as a single entity, but upon closer examination, we realize that it is composed of countless flickering particles of light and heat. Similarly, The self is not a singular entity, but a composite of countless mental and physical phenomena arising and passing away in each moment. By recognizing the absence of a permanent, unchanging self, we free ourselves from the burden of clinging to an illusory sense of identity. We come to understand that the notion of I or me is merely a convenient fiction created by the mind, devoid of any inherent substance or essence. This realization allows us to loosen the grip of ego attachment and transcend the cycle of suffering rooted in the delusion of selfhood. Through the practice of mindfulness and insight meditation, we can directly experience the impermanent and impersonal nature of the self. As we cultivate awareness of the ever-changing flow of thoughts, emotions, and sensations within us, we come to realize that there is no fixed self to be found. In this profound insight, we discover a profound sense of freedom and liberation, transcending the limitations of ego and awakening to the boundless potential of our true nature. Number 5. The law of karma. Embedded within the fabric of Buddhist philosophy is the profound understanding of karma, the law of cause and effect that governs the unfolding of our lives. Karma, derived from the Sanskrit word meaning action or deed, is the fundamental principle that our actions have consequences, shaping our future experiences in this life and beyond. At its core, karma operates on the principle of cause and effect, much like the ripples that spread outward when a stone is dropped into a still pond. Every thought, word, and action we engage in generates energy that reverberates throughout the universe, influencing the course of our lives and the world around us. Consider the analogy of a seed planted in fertile soil. Through nurturing care and attention, the seed grows into a flourishing plant, bearing fruit in due time. Similarly, our actions, whether wholesome or unwholesome, plant seeds in the garden of our lives, shaping our future experiences in accordance with their nature. The law of karma teaches us that virtuous actions lead to positive outcomes, while unwholesome actions result in suffering and discord. Acts of kindness, compassion, and generosity sow the seeds of happiness and well-being, nurturing positive relationships and fostering a sense of harmony within ourselves and the world. Conversely, acts of greed, hatred, and ignorance sow the seeds of suffering, perpetuating the cycle of conflict and discontentment. By understanding the law of karma, we come to recognize the power we wield in shaping our own destiny. Rather than being passive victims of circumstance, we become active participants in the unfolding drama of life, empowered to make choices that align with our values and aspirations. Through the practice of mindfulness and ethical conduct, we can cultivate a deeper awareness of the intentions behind our actions, ensuring that they are rooted in wisdom and compassion. By aligning our thoughts, words, and deeds with the principles of virtue and integrity, we can sow the seeds of happiness and create a more harmonious and compassionate world for ourselves and future generations. Number 6. Ignorance. In the journey of self-discovery and spiritual awakening, one of the greatest obstacles we must confront is the veil of ignorance that shrouds our understanding of reality. Ignorance, or avidya, in Buddhist terms, is not merely a lack of knowledge, but a deeper misunderstanding of the nature of existence, perpetuating the cycle of suffering and delusion. At its core, ignorance blinds us to the true nature of reality, clouding our perception and distorting our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. We become ensnared in the web of illusion, mistaking the impermanent for the permanent, the ephemeral for the eternal. This fundamental misunderstanding gives rise to craving, aversion, and attachment, which in turn fuel the fires of suffering and discontentment. Consider the analogy of a person wandering in darkness, unable to see the path before them. In their confusion and uncertainty, they stumble and fall, experiencing pain and hardship along the way. Similarly, ignorance obscures the true path to happiness and liberation, leading us astray and perpetuating the cycle of suffering. However, the key to overcoming ignorance lies in the power of awareness and insight. By shining the light of mindfulness and wisdom into the dark corners of our minds, we can begin to unravel the knots of ignorance that bind us. Through introspection and self-reflection, we can come to see the underlying causes of our suffering and the ways in which ignorance distorts our perception of reality. Becoming aware of our ignorance is the first step towards liberation, for it opens the door to greater understanding and insight. As we cultivate mindfulness and cultivate the seeds of wisdom within us, we begin to see through the illusions of the ego and the transient nature of phenomena. We come to realize that true happiness and fulfillment cannot be found in the external world, but arise from within, through the cultivation of inner peace, compassion, and wisdom. In this way, the journey from ignorance to enlightenment is a gradual unfolding of awareness and understanding, leading us out of the darkness of delusion and into the radiant light of truth. Through the practice of mindfulness and insight meditation, we can pierce the veil of ignorance and awaken to the boundless potential of our true nature, liberated from the shackles of suffering and ignorance. Number 7. The Three Poisons. In Buddhist philosophy, the three poisons, greed, hatred, and delusion, are regarded as the root causes of suffering and the primary obstacles to spiritual growth and enlightenment. These poisons, also known as the three fires, or three unwholesome roots, arise from the fundamental ignorance of the true nature of reality and perpetuate the cycle of samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Greed, or lobha, is the insatiable desire for wealth, power, and sensory pleasures. It manifests as attachment to material possessions, craving for worldly success, and a relentless pursuit of gratification. Like a bottomless pit, greed can never be satisfied, leading to a perpetual cycle of craving and dissatisfaction. This relentless pursuit of pleasure and acquisition only serves to deepen our sense of lack and perpetuate the cycle of suffering. Hatred, or dosa, is the destructive force of aversion, anger, and hostility towards oneself and others. It arises from the inability to accept reality as it is, fueling resentment, bitterness, and violence. Hatred blinds us to the inherent dignity and worth of all beings, leading to conflict, division, and suffering. Like a raging fire, hatred consumes everything in its path, leaving behind a trail of destruction and pain. Delusion, or moha, is the fundamental ignorance of the true nature of reality. It manifests as confusion, bewilderment, and the misperception of the impermanent as permanent, the ephemeral as eternal. Delusion obscures our understanding of the interconnectedness of all things and distorts our perception of ourselves and the world around us. Like a thick fog, delusion clouds our judgment and perpetuates the cycle of suffering, keeping us trapped in the endless cycle of birth and death. These three poisons work in tandem to perpetuate the cycle of samsara, binding us to the wheel of existence and preventing us from attaining liberation. They arise from the fundamental ignorance of the true nature of reality and fuel the fires of desire, aversion, and delusion that keep us trapped in the cycle of suffering. However, through the practice of mindfulness, ethical conduct, and wisdom, we can overcome the three poisons and attain liberation from suffering. By cultivating awareness of our thoughts, emotions, and actions, we can recognize the arising of greed, hatred, and delusion, and cultivate the antidotes of generosity, loving kindness, and wisdom. In doing so, we can free ourselves from the cycle of samsara and attain the ultimate goal of enlightenment. Number 8. The Middle Way. Central to the teachings of Buddhism is the profound concept of the middle way, a path of balance and moderation that avoids the extremes of indulgence and asceticism. The middle way, or Majjhima Patipada, teaches us to navigate the complexities of life with wisdom and equanimity, avoiding the pitfalls of excessive attachment and aversion. At its essence, the middle way encourages us to find a balanced approach to life, neither indulging in sensual pleasures nor denying ourselves the basic necessities of existence. It recognizes that both excessive indulgence and extreme asceticism lead to suffering and hinder our spiritual growth. Consider the metaphor of a tightrope walker, carefully navigating the thin line between two extremes. Just as too much tension can cause the rope to snap, and too little can lead to a fall, the middle way encourages us to find the optimal balance between opposing forces. In this delicate balance lies the key to liberation from suffering. Finding balance is not about renouncing the world and retreating into isolation, nor is it about indulging in worldly pleasures without restraint. Instead, it is about cultivating mindfulness and discernment in every aspect of our lives, making wise choices that lead to genuine happiness and well-being. By avoiding the extremes of indulgence and asceticism, we free ourselves from the cycle of craving and aversion that perpetuates suffering. We learn to appreciate the simple joys of life without becoming enslaved by them, and to endure hardship with patience and resilience. The middle way teaches us to embrace the full spectrum of human experience, from the joys of love and friendship to the pains of loss and disappointment. It encourages us to cultivate inner peace and contentment, independent of external circumstances, and to live with grace and integrity in a world fraught with impermanence and uncertainty. In finding balance, we discover a profound sense of liberation and freedom, transcending the dualities of pleasure and pain, gain and loss, and finding peace in the present moment. Through the practice of mindfulness, ethical conduct, and wisdom, we can walk the middle way with confidence and clarity, leading us towards the ultimate goal of enlightenment. Number 9. The Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path, one of the central teachings of Buddhism, offers a comprehensive framework for leading a life of wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. Rooted in the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path serves as a practical guide for cultivating inner peace and realizing the path to liberation from suffering. 1. Right view. The first component of the Eightfold Path is right view, which involves understanding the true nature of reality and the causes of suffering. It entails recognizing the impermanent and interconnected nature of existence and cultivating wisdom through the study of Buddhist teachings. 2. Right intention. Right intention involves cultivating wholesome intentions and attitudes that align with the principles of compassion, generosity, and non-harming. It involves renouncing harmful desires and cultivating the intention to cultivate kindness, compassion, and wisdom. 3. Right speech. Right speech emphasizes the importance of mindful communication, avoiding harmful speech such as lying, gossiping, harsh words, and divisive speech. It encourages speaking truthfully, kindly, and constructively, fostering harmony and understanding in our relationships. 4. Right action. Right action involves acting in ways that are ethical and conducive to the well-being of oneself and others. It entails refraining from harming living beings, stealing, and engaging in sexual misconduct, and instead, cultivating actions that promote peace, honesty, and integrity. 5. Right livelihood. Right livelihood involves earning a living in ways that are ethical and aligned with the principles of non-harming and compassion. It entails avoiding occupations that involve exploiting others, harming living beings, or engaging in dishonesty and deceit. 6. Right effort. Right effort involves cultivating wholesome qualities of mind and overcoming unwholesome states. It entails making a diligent effort to cultivate positive mental states such as mindfulness, concentration, loving kindness, and wisdom, while abandoning harmful thoughts and attitudes. 7. Right mindfulness. Right mindfulness involves cultivating present moment awareness and mindfulness in all aspects of our lives. It entails being aware of our thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations with clarity and equanimity, leading to insight and understanding of the nature of reality. 8. Right concentration. Right concentration involves developing focused attention and concentration through meditation practices. It entails training the mind to become calm, stable, and unified, leading to deep states of inner peace and insight. By following the Eightfold Path, practitioners can cultivate a life of wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline, leading to liberation from suffering and the realization of true happiness and inner peace. Number 10. Compassion. Compassion lies at the heart of Buddhist teachings, embodying the fundamental principle of loving kindness and empathy towards all beings. It is regarded as one of the most noble and essential qualities to cultivate on the path to enlightenment. In Buddhism, compassion, or karuna, is the natural response to the recognition of the universal truth of suffering. By acknowledging the inherent vulnerability and fragility of human existence, we open our hearts to the suffering of others and seek to alleviate their pain and sorrow. Compassion is not merely a passive sentiment but an active force for positive change in the world. It motivates us to act with kindness, generosity, and selflessness, nurturing connections and fostering a sense of solidarity with all beings. By cultivating compassion, we not only alleviate the suffering of others, but also experience personal growth and transformation. It softens the barriers of ego and self-interest, expanding our capacity for empathy and understanding. Through acts of compassion, we transcend the narrow confines of self-concern and connect with the larger tapestry of humanity. Moreover, compassion has the power to heal and transform relationships, fostering harmony and reconciliation. It bridges the divides of race, religion, and nationality, uniting us in our shared humanity and common aspirations for happiness and well-being. Furthermore, compassion is a potent antidote to the destructive forces of greed, hatred, and delusion that perpetuate suffering in the world. By cultivating compassion, we counteract the seeds of discord and conflict, creating a ripple effect of love and understanding that extends far beyond our immediate surroundings. In essence, compassion is the cornerstone of a meaningful and fulfilling life, guiding us on the path to enlightenment and awakening. Through the practice of compassion, we can alleviate the suffering of others, foster inner peace and happiness, and contribute to the creation of a more compassionate and just world for all beings. Number 11. Imperfect nature of reality. In the vast tapestry of existence, the imperfections of reality are woven into the very fabric of our human experience. Our perceptions, colored by biases and limitations, often distort the true nature of reality, leading to misunderstandings and misjudgments. The imperfect nature of reality manifests in myriad ways, from the fleeting nature of pleasure to the inherent unpredictability of life's twists and turns. We grasp at illusions of permanence and certainty, only to find ourselves disillusioned when reality fails to conform to our expectations. Mindfulness, the practice of being fully present and aware in each moment, offers a powerful antidote to the distortions of perception that cloud our understanding of reality. By cultivating mindfulness, we can learn to see the world with fresh eyes, free from the filters of judgment and interpretation. Through the practice of mindfulness meditation, we train our minds to observe thoughts, emotions, and sensations with clarity and equanimity, without getting swept away by them. We become aware of the impermanent nature of all phenomena, recognizing that everything is in a constant state of flux. By embracing the imperfections of reality, with an attitude of acceptance and non-judgment, we can find peace and contentment amidst life's uncertainties. Rather than clinging to fixed ideas and expectations, we learn to flow with the ever-changing currents of existence, adapting to whatever circumstances arise. Through mindfulness, we develop the capacity to see reality more clearly, unclouded by the distortions of ego and desire. We come to understand that true happiness and fulfillment are not found in the pursuit of perfection, but in embracing the messy, imperfect beauty of life as it unfolds moment by moment. In essence, mindfulness is a powerful tool for awakening to the true nature of reality, enabling us to transcend the limitations of our perceptions and experience life with greater depth and clarity. By cultivating mindfulness, we can cultivate a deeper sense of connection to ourselves, to others, and to the world around us, leading to greater peace, happiness, and fulfillment. Number 12. Embracing change. Change is the only constant in life, an immutable truth that lies at the heart of Buddhist philosophy. In the ever-shifting landscape of existence, impermanence reigns supreme, touching every aspect of our lives, from the changing seasons to the fleeting moments of joy and sorrow. Embracing change and impermanence is a cornerstone of Buddhist teachings, offering profound insights into the nature of reality and the human condition. While change can often be unsettling and disruptive, resisting its inevitability only serves to deepen our suffering and prolong our sense of discontentment. When we cling desperately to the familiar and the comfortable, we inevitably find ourselves at odds with the natural flow of life. Like a leaf caught in a swift current, our attempts to resist change only lead to struggle and resistance, leaving us feeling exhausted and depleted. However, when we learn to embrace change with open arms and a willingness to adapt, we discover a profound sense of liberation and peace. Acceptance of impermanence allows us to let go of our attachment to outcomes and expectations, freeing us from the grip of fear and anxiety. In the face of uncertainty, acceptance brings clarity and resilience, enabling us to navigate life's challenges with grace and equanimity. Rather than viewing change as a threat, we come to see it as an opportunity for growth and transformation, a chance to shed old patterns and embrace new possibilities. Moreover, acceptance of impermanence fosters a deeper appreciation for the present moment, recognizing the beauty and richness of life in all its myriad forms. When we relinquish our resistance to change, we open ourselves up to the full spectrum of human experience, from the exquisite joys of love and connection to the profound depths of sorrow and loss. In essence, embracing change is a gateway to freedom and liberation, a path to inner peace and fulfillment. By surrendering our resistance to impermanence, we can cultivate a deeper sense of presence and mindfulness, living each moment with gratitude and authenticity. Through acceptance, we discover the true essence of life's beauty and find solace in the eternal ebb and flow of existence. Number 13. Liberation. At the heart of Buddhist teachings lies the ultimate goal of liberation, the profound realization of enlightenment and freedom from the cycle of suffering and rebirth known as samsara. Liberation, or nirvana, is the culmination of the spiritual journey, a state of perfect peace, wisdom, and compassion beyond the limitations of the ego. The truths we have explored in this video, the impermanence of all things, the reality of suffering, the interconnectedness of existence, and the path to liberation, serve as guideposts on the journey towards enlightenment. By recognizing and embracing these truths, we can transcend the illusions of ego and desire that bind us to the cycle of samsara and awaken to the true nature of reality. Realizing the impermanence of all phenomena, we come to understand the futility of clinging to transient pleasures and possessions. By acknowledging the universal truth of suffering, we develop compassion and empathy for ourselves and others, cultivating the seeds of liberation. Understanding the interconnectedness of all beings, we recognize the inherent interdependence of existence, fostering a sense of unity and interconnectedness with all life. The path to liberation, as outlined in the Eightfold Path, involves cultivating wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. Through mindfulness, ethical living, and the cultivation of wholesome qualities of mind, we can overcome the defilements of greed, hatred, and delusion, and attain the state of nirvana. Liberation is not a destination to be reached, but a journey to be lived in each moment, a continual unfolding of awareness and understanding. It is the realization of our true nature, beyond the limitations of ego and self, and the experience of boundless freedom and joy. In essence, the ultimate goal of Buddhism is the realization of liberation, the awakening to the true nature of reality, and the cessation of suffering. By embracing the truths of impermanence, suffering, and interconnectedness, and following the path of wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline, we can attain the state of nirvana and experience the profound peace and happiness that comes with liberation from the cycle of samsara. Conclusion. As we conclude our exploration of the profound truths of Buddhism, let us reflect on the wisdom we have uncovered. From the impermanence of all things to the interconnectedness of existence, from the reality of suffering to the path to liberation, these teachings offer profound insights into the human condition and the nature of reality. In embracing these truths and following the path of mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, we embark on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual awakening. By cultivating awareness, ethical conduct, and mental discipline, we can transcend the limitations of ego and desire and attain the ultimate goal of liberation from suffering. May these teachings serve as a guiding light on your own path to enlightenment, leading you towards a life of peace, happiness, and fulfillment. As we continue our journey, let us remember the words of Gautama Buddha. Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. With mindfulness and compassion as our allies, may we walk the path of liberation with grace and wisdom, bringing healing and transformation to ourselves and to the world.